Hi people, how you doing? So it's been in my heart for a while to do just to share some of my thoughts on worship and just engaging in worship and being able to maximize the experience, from the lessons that I've learned and I'm learning. I believe that yes, we worship God through the course of our lives. We worship God in our speaking and in our relating with people. In everything we do, actually, we should express our worship to God, our hearts to God. But what happens when we worship God in a corporate setting or personally, through music especially, and just having that special moment set aside to worship Jesus? You know, the analogy that always comes to mind for me is like a couple, right? A man and his wife, and they are busy during the course of the day. The man has his business, the woman has hers, and they check in with each other through the course of the day. She checks on him, text messages, calls. They just have that back and forth thing. They keep track of each other, throughout. But then there's that moment during the day or at night, I don't know. There's that moment where the man and the woman actually pause every other thing. They drop their gadgets, they drop their business books and everything. They actually look at each other. They actually enjoy intimacy with each other. They actually pay attention to each other. They begin to notice details like, oh, did you make your hair? Or, they actually look at each other. They put everything aside. And for me, that's like what happens when we worship. That time where we actually begin to raise songs and begin to worship Jesus is like yes, you have relationship and fellowship with him, but now you're looking at him, right? You're having that direct, no distraction, nothing else happening. You're just being with him, just having that intimacy with him. And I feel like many times believers, we miss out on this goodness, we miss out on this pleasantness because we get distracted, especially people who are not worship leaders, people in the congregation. You get distracted sometimes. So when the worship is going on, you're looking at what the band is, what they're wearing, and what song that they're going to sing and everything. And that's like a wife has a maid, let's say a servant, right? And the servant opens the door for the husband, like, let me open the door so you can meet your husband. And she opens the door, and the wife is distracted looking at the servant to open the door and looking at the servant and saying, what's the servant wearing? What's the servant? It's not about the servant at that point in time, it's about your husband who has been let in. So when the worship leader is leading worship and the worship leader begins to raise songs, they are trying to connect you. They are trying to bring your attention to your husband. It's about your husband. It's not about them. So that we don't miss out on this, because we experience it so much. You see people distracted. They don't get what's happening. It's time to just be with him. Just look at him. Just have that fellowship with him in a very sweet, special way. And I think it's absolutely amazing. I just had to share that. I just had to share that to encourage someone, and maybe just if you could see it, that look, you're not maximizing the moment. So just, I hope this helped. And also, just to point out something else, if more than a few times people have always brought it to my attention that I smile a lot when I lead worship. Why do you smile when you're leading worship? What's that about? And the truth is that I really love Jesus. I do. And I love worship. Ooh. And it doesn't matter if I'm leading or I'm backing up. This in the congregation, I'm in my room alone. It's sweet. I'm telling you, it's what happens is amazing. When we sing those songs to him, like this song's playing in the background. You are the reason, you are the reason. It's like, oh, it's amazing. And you have to smile. It's beautiful. So yeah, I really pray. I just pray for you that you would delve deep into that worship culture, and you would be able to look at him. You'll be able to look at him and have that rich experience of worship. Bye.